How many generations go through this where they grow up with something in their home as a kid that disappears by the time they're an adult? Because you look at our life. Think of how many things you had in your house when you were a kid that no home really in America has now, unless it's something that would be vintage. Now, I guess there are some things. I do remember, for instance, like wood-burning stoves and things like that you didn't see so much that might have been in your grandparents' or great-grandparents' home that over time with central heating and things like that kind of changed. Maybe it was a window air conditioning unit, something along those lines in the generations past.
When I first saw central air, I didn't believe it or understand it. I was like, what is central air?
Right.
What the hell?
What a concept, huh?
I just thought life was about a window unit.
Yeah. Now, there are many things that involve tech that makes a lot of sense. Anything from VCRs to DVDs, CDs, possibly record players, even though they're still around and they've kind of made a bit of a comeback.
Believe it or not, my buddy does a lot of vintage stuff, and he says that VHSs and all that kind of stuff, there's a market for it. There are people that still like the idea, kind of just like the record player. They just it's very nostalgic, and it's kind of cool to have them set up on a shelf, and they look cool.
Right. Typewriter was something I remember when I was a little kid. My dad had the typewriter, but then it changed into the computer somewhere, and we didn't have the typewriter anymore.
Yep, typewriter. We had that too.
I mean, if you're anywhere with somebody with a typewriter, you are in a town that I think they have one police officer.
Yeah. Feels that way, right?
Rocco bought a typewriter, but he bought it from your friend that deals in vintage goods.
Jesse, yeah.
So now we have a typewriter in my house.
Some people love it. Oddly enough, Tom Hanks collects typewriters. Did you know that?
Really?
That's like his little hobby.
It's crazy because my same friend, the weird things that people are into, that what they collect is so bizarre and so specific. It's insane.
Yeah, it really is kind of odd. Another thing that I remember was in my house, I don't know if they were so necessary, but we used to have filing cabinets.
Yes.
With data storage and everything else, do people still typically have a filing cabinet in their house?
Well, I even remember being stressed out going to the library because I could never figure out that Dewey Decimal System. Like, oh, man, there's so many files. So many cards.
That's all gone.
So many numbers and dots.
They don't have that, right? If you go to a library, they don't have that system anymore. I'd imagine.
Yeah,
No, they have to.
They might to catalog things, but it just wouldn't be in a card catalog anymore. I wouldn't think.
Digitally, they'd do it.
Yeah, I would think so. John is on here from Boynton Beach. What is something that would be in a home when you were a kid that just nobody seems to have anymore, John?
Man, we used to have a full-size satellite dish, and I sure don't see those anymore.
Oh, man. I remember that.
Rich kids had one of those.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah. I remember we did the Thriller video at my house when I was like in probably second grade, I think. Mm-hmm. And nobody else had cable, so my house was like the very popular house for TV. And I remember when the Thriller video came out, all of my neighbors all of a sudden knew who we were, Yeah. So that was the place to be. I don't know, MTV. I was up in Minneapolis, like a suburb at the time, and from Canada you could get MTV kind of on regular stations, but not that far south.
Did you guys get Playboy?
Oh, man, yeah, we got all kinds of things.
Yeah. Oh, we got all that good stuff.
A young boy in the 80s that just discovered he has Playboy on his TV.
Oh, yeah.
It was insane. Yeah, it changes a person's life.
What was so wild about the satellite dishes is there was an era where if you had a huge satellite dish, it meant you were rich. Look out, baby, I'm wealthy. And then in about 10 years, if you had a large satellite dish, it meant you were poor. Because everybody else had the small ones that just weren't so hey, how poor are you, man? Well, talking about things that nobody really has in their home anymore. Maybe you notice it when you're a kid and then just somewhere in time it disappeared. Talking about some of the tech stuff that was there. A lot of stuff with TV, satellite dishes and DVDs, VCRs, that kind of stuff. for the most part, it's typically gone. But somebody said, do you remember the old style cable box where you would put an index card in the top and you'd have to wiggle it around to get the premium channels for free?
You old?
I do remember we had a box that went on the top of our TV and it had press down buttons that were on it. So the TV itself, you had to turn the dial, but the top, you put it on channel 3 and then it would go to the top box and then you'd push down on a button that went to like 20. I was like, I can't believe we have 20 channels.
20 channels.
It's unbelievable.
Did you guys ever have that? All of a sudden, the cable company would give you HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, the Playboy channel, and a couple other boob channels.
But they call it that? The boob channel.
But it would start on a Friday afternoon. The Disney Channel they'd give you all this.
Yeah, they would
free.
do the HBO the weekends, and it was so exciting when you got HBO for free for a weekend. I couldn't believe it.
Dog, when they did the Playboy channel, me and my brother couldn't. We kept pinching each other, going, "Is this real?"
Oh, I bet you were pinching something.
Yeah, right.
The amount of tugging that happened that weekend.
They would do it every so often, and I remember one time they let it go through. They'd usually shut it down by Monday morning. It was over. The good times were over. There was one time they let it go into Monday night. We're going,
Oh, wow.
So at every second we were afraid it was going to go dark on us.
Tug Fest.
Tug Fest 87.
Oh, so much. So raw.
J-Bed, where'd all the tissues go? Somebody said when I was a kid, everybody had those electric can openers. It would drill into cabinets and hang down.
Yes.
I kind of like that.
That was a thing, like a wall unit opener for your can.
And that seemed more advanced, but everybody's kind of gone back to the old manual ones now, which is kind of weird because that feels like you took a step backwards. Why did we get rid of the ones that seem to be fancier?
With my WAG, weak ass grip, I do not do well with opening up a can.
That'd be a funny video.
I need the machine. I can never get it locked in.
Another thing that disappeared from your childhood home, the wall calendar. Did you guys have one of those?
Yes.
We did, right by the phone that was hanging up in the kitchen, so you knew everything that was on the calendar for the family.
We didn't have the wall calendar, but we did have wall stains.
Okay.
The wall calendar and the pen with a little bit of Velcro on it where it's stuck.
Yeah, right. I do remember that. And takeout menus. Somebody said we used to have a drawer full of those, and I don't see those that much anymore.
Yeah, if you did delivery for Chinese or pizza, those are kind of always been the standard. I don't remember too many places that delivered the sub. We live in a good time right now.
Yeah, it's a great time.